start in just a moment. My name is Janice Newman. I am an independent producer out of the Chicagoland, South Suburban area. My show's called Why, the letter Y, question mark, why not, spelled out. It's a talk show that refers to helping others to reach their goals. We interview people on psychologists on marriage and family, child rearing, social issues such as prison ministry, life after prison. I also do a teen chat that we can talk to kids about issues that are pertaining to them, dating, going to school, even lying, which was a very funny episode we did. Been doing my show for approximately 4 years. I started in December of 2018. A little bit about myself. December of 2016, I had to have brain surgery. And after brain surgery to cut out a tumor that they didn't cut much out, I stopped talking. There was a little accident in the hospital that I could not talk anymore. I couldn't talk, I couldn't write, I couldn't even see pictures correctly. So imagine trying to go to the bathroom and you can't tell which picture on there says the bathroom. And it was kind of funny. I was talking and I thought I was talking okay, but everyone was looking at me funny and I didn't know what was going on, so they brought me a bunch of pictures. And that's when you really know something's gone wrong, when they bring you some cartoon pictures for you to point at. Yeah. Well, with the grace of God, my voice did come back and my writing came back, and even my writing was upside down. I couldn't even write my name for a while. And the grace of God, that came back. But in those 4 days of sitting there waiting, I realized that my voice is valuable. And I was sitting there praying to God. I'm like, well, what can I do with my voice if I get it back? And will you please give it back to me? And thank God he gave it back to me. And I started doing the television show. Approximately 2 years later. I have to apologize for this. I am not really tech savvy as everyone else is. That's why I have a director producer, Matt Jimlo, that helped me, because I can't remember all this stuff.
We need you to use a mic to a recording.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I'll plug this in for you.
So I just have a short PowerPoint to go with this, but I'll talk while I'm doing this. Yes, I need to stand back here.
There you go.
Okay.
Cool.
Little vertically challenged. I have to bring it down. Okay. So like I was saying, I just sat there and prayed, and then thank God my voice did come back. There are some gaps and memory losses, such as some days how to figure out how to plug in my computer, it seems like. And I decided to do the talk show. It was actually, I was saying a prayer on my birthday. I'm like, Lord, I really want to do the talk show. And I put in a request ages ago. And believe it or not, 4 hours later, Comcast in Elmhurst, Illinois, gave me a call and said, would you like to come in and start studying to be a producer? Unlike what I found out with the Wisconsin, a lot of the Wisconsin community medias, your centers actually do a lot of hands-on helping independent producers. In Chicagoland, they open the door for us. You have to get your own volunteers, own everything. We have no help at all. And now that the studio's closed, I do everything on my own. So, complete independent. Is that working?
I'll take a second.
Okay. So we're talking about social media today. My thing is from a perspective of an independent producer and what you as a media center can do to tell your people what to do. Obviously, you guys are already on Facebook, you're already on Twitter, you're already having your OTT channels, your Roku, your Apple. But what kind of independent producer that you're helping them actually produce a program, what can they do besides depending on you to just do everything? For myself, I have a Facebook page. They should go on their Facebook page, have their show, put clips from the show on there too. If you provide them clips, teach them. I wouldn't say do it yourself. Teach them, because they have to have some type of accountability. Teach them to put a small little clip on their Facebook page and start talking about the upcoming show is coming on such and such date, and keep that valid. They can also join other groups on Facebook. So not only group your particular media station's webpage on Facebook, but also join other groups, other writing groups, other stations group, and share those clips to get a following. And ask them to subscribe, ask them to like their Facebook page, and that's going to help draw attention. Okay? I do that quite often. I'm also part of elected official in the library board. Oh, thank you.
Okay. Go.
So I do a lot of that, making sure I'm connected with other people's Facebook pages, so this way I can share different things. And if I have a guest, ask them to share. So make sure whoever your producers are that you're out working with, that they're asking their guests to share the show. Make sure they have a copy and they can share that. I also have corresponding with that. Is it plugged up?
Do you have
Yeah.
issues with your charger at all, ever?
Hmm?
Do you have issues with your charger ever?
Absolutely, but I'm wondering if it's on. Yeah. So also have them to have a YouTube page. All of my shows are also linked on the YouTube page, so this way people can see them on demand that way. I also have an IMBD page that starts talking about my show. It's not fully updated, but I have like some of the 2018 episodes on there. If they are a winner of any of the competitions, they need to be posting that often. They need to share that with their local media. If they have a small paper, it's on here. Thank you. If there's a small paper in town, they need to be in contact with them. I'm currently getting ready to start writing for our local paper. So that way it's going to connect the topics I'm working on my show with the weekly article for motivational speak. So I do a combination that way. I also have my own website, Why Not Show website. And on that website, I link my books because I've written a book before. The shows are at the bottom of the page. So I have a variety of things. I have that in the right one? Oh, wrong one. I'm so sorry. Hold on. I might need your help again, Matt. Okay, TV. That's a different one from later. Oh, here it is, social media. I think I'm also getting old and blind. So also on that, the Facebook page or the website pages are not that expensive, so make sure they do that too, so they can link those. Now, I also have my Twitter account, but I do not use Twitter as much as I should. I'm not really that good, and I try to keep my personal life separate, but what I've just found out recently, and I kind of suspected it, you really want to have, for the independent people, to have their regular Facebook page available to viewers, where I have mine blocked because I want to keep my things personal. I've had issues with stalkers, so I keep that separate. I don't want to get my information out. I'll have people calling me, emails, things like that. And it's easy to get people's addresses. So I try keeping it separately, but that does prevent a lot of people who will share or subscribe to you. So for you guys to go back and talk to the independent people you are working with, these are very important to do. Definitely on the Facebook page. They need to be posting often. Even on their television show. I have a television show Facebook page. And with that, that's when I may put a couple things, happy birthday to someone, something like that, happy Mother's Day. So this way it gives it more personal, but I show clips, 15-second clips, things like that. Some of my views, I've gotten like 5,000 views on a different clips, so that helps it a little bit better, okay? So the social media content and my logo. Also letting them know that it's really important to have, that's me and my show, like even for them to have headshots, so they can have professional headshots I went and did. So this way it's something that's consistent, having the headshots. And making sure these are all different things they can do. This isn't lined up right. Oh, that would be that? That's not lined up right?
Let me see. Just your display.
Okay.
It's not this? The display settings.
Yeah. It's the display setting? Okay, well, I have to apologize on that. Like I said, didn't know that was a difference in display setting. How do you use, oh, so it's a slideshow? Oh my God, I'm showing my age.
Oh, you're fine. Excuse me. Yeah, the projector is cropped in a weird way, so I'm just gonna do this for you real quick.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wait, you can see it all. Cool.
Now I'm really showing my age. Even on LinkedIn, I actually have that I am a producer. So if I see anyone on there that's a writer, producer, I start trying to make friends with them. Anything, getting connections. Okay? My Facebook page. I do my Facebook page on there. Try to post 3 to 5 times a week, upload the clips. I will take like the highlight. I just did a gentleman that's a appraiser because people have been having issues lately in the news about racism and appraisers and ethnic issues. So I did a quick video. Well, I did a 30-minute video on him, but I took like a 3-4 minute clip and put on here. So this way I can send it to different companies. Also, they have Facebook pages. YouTube, make sure you have it always on YouTube. Highlight those top new monthly shows and change it monthly. Have YouTube live premieres. Now, I don't know if you're doing this in your studio, but we did at least do this once. They guinea pigged me for Comcast and Elmhurst, that we were doing it live while we were taping. So we had a live YouTube and a live Facebook while we were taping. So people saw us running around trying to get the equipment together and talking behind the scenes, things like that. So I don't know if you guys are able to do that, but that was actually pretty fun, and that did get a lot of viewers. LinkedIn, like I said, is great for networking guests. Make sure your hosts that are doing that, producers, are on there, because it's a great way of finding different guests. And you could track followers. And for PR firms, I've been contacted for a PR firm that I was able to go to the Star Trek convention in Chicago, and they gave me the tickets for free. I was able to interview Chase Matheson and some other people there, so that was great. And they just found me on here, and they knew I was local. Now, this is a little bit separate from media. I follow these also. This is separate from media. Making sure I have the website. I have car magnets. Make sure your producers have even the cheap car magnets from Vistaprint that people know you have a TV show. I don't recommend the phone number, but put the email and the website on them. I have those for my cars when I drive around. Pass out business cards. I've even passed out business cards at Burger King in the drive-thru. Just nice person talking. They're like, oh, you have a great voice. Oh, yes, I do. And here's my card. Yes, I pass it out everywhere. Even when I'm working, I give my business card and my television show card. And I've actually gotten quite a few interesting guests on my show and connections. I'm in the appraisal business, so I've met people like, well, politicians, shall I say. So I've appraised their houses. I can't say which ones. So those are also different great things that they need to be doing. Flyers to tell people about the show. Press releases. Anytime I get an award, I send a press release to the small little local newspaper to let them know, just to get something out. I'm on the library board, so it's kind of nice that we show people that even the library board's actually getting awards and going out and doing things in the neighborhood. Any special guests, any shared social events, I note that too. And it's nice working with that type of community because we can share guests, share ideas. Okay, the website, that's very important. And like I said, I use the same picture so people will recognize me. Update regularly, add a blog, answer chat and emails. I get a lot of chat and emails from different countries. And it goes there, and it's nice to answer them right away. So make sure your producers are doing that too, and link the shows. I don't have it here, but at the bottom, you can get all of my shows. It'll just be linked and scrolled. It's connected with YouTube. And that's great for your producers to do too. Then other traditional ways, like I said, the blog on the website helps because that's getting a different aspect of the show. Even if it's a short thing that your independent producers, the hosts are doing, have them write something about it. Like I said, I just did a show on appraisals. I can write a small little blog about appraisals and what's important about it. Okay? The IMBD listings it's nice to have those. And I put on there the guests, things like that. Merchandise. Even if you have, and I'm not saying sell the merchandise, I have hats, t-shirts, I have bags. So whenever I'm going out, you typically know who I am, or at least wondering. I've been to conventions and they're like, why not? Okay, and they'll look it up. Participate in parade. Even though I am a producer, I'm going to be in the Memorial Day parade with my advertisement on my vehicle, and I'm going to have all the flags and balloons and whistles and our theme music. We have our own theme music that's not from the free stock, so I'm going to be playing that also, and passing out cards, candy, getting the word out. Sponsor a team or event. You can also do that too. It doesn't cost much, like we had our luncheon here. It doesn't cost much to sponsor a team. The baseball, and if your people are able to get sponsorships themselves for their show, they can use that money, $150, $300, to sponsor a sports team, and most teams will give you a big sign for that season in left field. And reviews on Google and Yelp. I think that's a good thing, believe it or not. When I go to a restaurant, instead of me giving a review, Janice Newman, I say the YYNet show was on location and we stopped by this great restaurant, and I just went to a Mexican restaurant the other day and I had over 14 views that actually liked my restaurant, and it was a tiny little shack of a restaurant. And when you looked at the reviews for the restaurant period, I had the most almost in combined of all of them. And I don't know if that was from me saying it was the show that went there and people can Google, but I do that too. So whenever I'm doing anything, I try to use the show. Lastly, a call to action. Make sure all your hosts, and I do know some that don't have the Facebook page, the YouTube, the web pages, those need to be up there, and definitely a short little clip to show people what's going on. Because your audience is going to be different. Facebook is going to be different sometimes from your Twitter, your Instagram, and it'll be different from your YouTube or your OTT. And then there's the people who are just going to watch TV and not go to any of these sites. So you have to go to all of them. Link social media profiles to your websites. Consistently hand out business cards. Like I said, I did pass it out at Burger King. Okay. Share media platforms with everyone. Just anyone they can, tell them to share it. Share with family and friends and tell them to keep sharing it. Share it to any of the Facebook groups. Like I said, I belong to different writers group. I'm also the vice president for recruiting for the Illinois Women Press Association. So that's another connection I have. And then we pass the link out to other people. Use hashtags, which I will admit that was new. I never used hashtags. I didn't even know what those things were at the bottom. And just recently I started using those. Consistently post, ask questions to engage. So when they do have the Facebook page, ask them, have you had an appraisal recently? Have you gone to marriage counseling? Are you thinking about marriage? Have you been divorced? What do you need to help you get through it? Ask those questions and get some feedback. Even on Facebook, people realize that those hosts do care and they're not just a pretty face on the screen. And then ask followers to like and share. But it's very important that your hosts are viewed as nice, friendly people that care, which most people don't know. I really don't like being on television. I'm not one of those people that like to be in front of the stage. I'm very nervous and shaking, okay? I don't. I'm really on it because I have a mission to pass my message on so others can actually learn something from it. With my show, it's not a religious show per se, but what I do is when I ask someone on the show, like Marriage and Family, well, do you ever pray with your family through this, or has God helped you through this? And that's how I blend in the faith on the show. Because a lot of people, how I did with my marketing, they'll turn off a lot of religious shows. I want people to get a connection with God without being forceful of it, and deliver a message and something they need to know. Like even our finances. How many people have prayed or thought about their finances? I may ask a person on that too, while she's talking about you need to have that savings account. Okay? Any questions?
Have you been on other people's shows?
Oh, yes, that's another thing to tell other producers too. Try to connect and network with other people's shows. I have a couple friends that I've been on their shows. Guy's been doing a show for over 20 years on CAN TV. The Gentleman Grokowski show has been on there, so I've been on his show quite a few times. And also for them to get out there to other stations. My show was actually in 10 to 12 states. I've started losing count. That's how bad it is in the sense that I can't keep track. And about 15 regions. My show is actually on the air every day of the week, somewhere in the United States. And it's on public access channels. My show does not take in any money, no sponsors. It's out of my pocket. Coming here today out of my pocket, mostly because why I'm doing it is because of my faith in God and having to help other people. But definitely tell them to share it. All it is calling other stations. A lot of people will say no. Calling around, telling your mission, giving those great shows, showing them some clips, and definitely tell your producers to enter these contests. I think when I call up another station and say, yeah, I'm a winner of Illinois Women Press Association for 2020, 21, and 22, first place for the talk show, that gets me in the door, without a doubt. I won for the National Press Association. Third place. It's still third place. So I put my foot in the door for that. This year we actually entered into the professional where I've been used to the amateur. And it's like, that's even nervous because they're competing against media centers like you that have a budget where I have a camera and a computer. So get those people to start going out there reaching. There's various lists you can get to give them. Even Alliance of Community Media has a list. And just start calling around and getting their shows out there. That's going to help too. And be flexible about it. I tell stations, if you can put me in at 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm happy. So being humble. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Okay. Whoop, I'm plugged up still.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Is this working? It is? Is it working here when I'm here? Oh, okay, great. Well, let's see if I plug this in and if it'll work. All right, let's see here. It is working. Wow. Great. Hey, I'm Frank Caruso, producer at OCA Media in Oregon, Wisconsin. Thanks for coming, everyone. Janice, your story reminded me of a story I thought of, and it's emblematic of how I feel about creating content. And there was this classroom of kids, and the teacher had them draw a picture of anything you want. And the kids were drawing pictures, and the teacher was going around, and she stopped at this one 6-year-old girl, and she asked her, "What are you drawing?" And the girl says, "A picture of God." And the teacher says, "Well, no one knows what God looks like." And the girl said, "They will in a minute." So that always sunk into my heart, and thinking like a 6-year-old, because when 6-year-olds view the world, because I was 6 and I remember, it was unfettered, and we believed, and we could do anything and accomplish anything. So that's what I still believe at my advanced years. Again, OCA Media, if you ever want to talk to me, you can reach out with my email there, or I'll give you my phone number at the end of this. I'm going to talk about the content that we develop, and really what's working for us amazingly at OCA Media. Content is key, but your community is really everything. Connecting to your community in any way you can. And I'm going to go through this and give you some things here. I'm going to play this short video here, And this is an introduction to a show I produce it's on every Sunday, and it's all over town. It's called Oregon Life, and it showcases people in the community and things that are happening. And I want you to watch. It's going to go quickly, and then I'm going to go through some of the photos and videos of the content. Let's see if we have. Can you hear that? So that's it. Making connections within the community and planning ahead equals followers always. We are literally getting followers every day because I'm posting every day. I take care of the social media and create content. Now this is planning. This is a drone shot, and as you don't know, or if you do know, you need a license to fly a drone now. In the old days, you could just fly your drone all over. But I was on the ground at this event here in Oregon, and I saw a drone in the sky. So I ran down. The gentleman was down at the other end of the field, and I asked him, hey, could you get a long shot of this for me? I'm OCA Media, and could you send it to me? And he was great, and he sent this to me. So I knew at some point we'd use something like that, and I happened to use it here. So planning ahead, going up to strangers, getting something. So when I'm ever on the ground, I was interviewing someone on the ground here, but I'm always looking for other stories. So there's several hundred people that came to that event that night and found another story. This is a young girl that went to Oregon High School, lives in Columbus. I connected with her because she's a YouTube university student. She's taught herself to make beehives and have gardens, and she's very entrepreneurial. Beekeeper, gardener, and more. She does so much. She's learned on YouTube how to do all these things. But in this shot here, I was getting ready, and I'm always rolling, even when I'm not going to keep the coverage. I'm always rolling. And by the way, everything you see, everything I do is shot with my phone. I shoot it with my iPhone. The gear I connect on this, I use a Rode, either one or two. They have two microphones now, and I capture the audio. This is everything I do on my iPhone. So I thought it was cool that she was emerging from that building in that mask, as you saw, and and I'm pushing in, pulling out. It's dramatic, and I knew I'd use it somewhere, and I used it here. And this is sweet. I did a Wisconsin mermaids. There are thousands of mermaids throughout the United States. And someone contacted me and said, I know these girls, they're mermaids. And I said, mermaids, what do they do? Well, they're swimming at the Oregon pool. And so I contacted the head of the mermaids here, Sophia, and they go to the Oregon pool. Other pools in Dane County, where we're from, will not let them because of safety. These mermaid costumes are very heavy, the tail at the bottom, and you could drown. But most of her mermaids have been swimmers in high school and college. And so I got in there. I actually put on a mermaid outfit so it would feel. I'm not showing you that picture. So this is Sophia here, and I'm filming, and I'm miking up and getting ready. And the mic there, I mic'd her up on her bathing suit there, and it's the road. And she started doing this. She turned her head and started talking into the microphone. And I said, Sophia, you can talk. That microphone is like a parabola. You're picking up the audio everywhere. And she laughed in this really cute way. And we didn't start the interview, but I thought it looked good. So I knew I'd archive it and have it. Again, planning, always looking ahead for a shot to use somewhere else, and connecting with social media. That shot of her turning her head and smiling, I posted it, boom, followers.
Can I just throw something out?
Yeah.
Same idea, just different purpose, I guess. Let's say I go out and shoot an event, parade, whatever. A lot of times, I have to see footage, so I used to delete it. It's like, well, I already got the edited version.
Yeah.
But then I would think, I could take maybe 10, 15 seconds, make a station ID out of it.
Oh.
In between programs.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
there's good footage of parade or something for like 10 seconds, and then they have you're watching like
Yeah, I do that. I do that on our Facebook page, for instance, on the master of the top. I usually every other day, I'll post. I'll take a walk around. I'll take a picture of something, and then I'll put our OCA logo on everything that I publish and post that. And it's the oddest things that get hits and followers, but it really works. It really works great. This young woman, I met her three years before this. I was working another job. I was doing OCA media, but our funds are limited, so I take extra work. And I came across her at the Duluth Trading, actually, and she was a seamstress. She did it part-time. She makes jeans. And I said, I want to do a story on you. And she said, I can't be on camera. So 3 years later, I kept her name, kept contacting her every year, and we finally did it. But here's the important thing here. This cat here, if you were watching closely to the video, was on the ground, and it kept moving its tail, and I could feel the wind. This cat is so big. And so I said, hey, can we put the cat up next to you here while you're sewing? And I'm just going to push in with my camera, which is my phone, and get the tail moving. And I thought visually it was great, and it turned out great. And here I am using it now. I thought I used it in the story, but I used it in the intro to Oregon Life. Janice Zielinski, Behind the Running. I got a call from a parent who knows his mom, Janice's mom, and they said, Janice is adopted. That it'd be a great story. So I met Janice's family, and I went to him working out one day, and he's a runner. Obviously, you can see this. And so I was down on the field. I was just capturing B-roll. And I didn't know there was another story behind this. There was an adoption story. But two kids take off running about 100 yards, and then Janice takes off, and he passes them. He's like a Tesla he is fast. So I turned to the coach, and I said, Coach, he's probably going to go to Janesville and break this 32-year-old school record. And I said, I'm going to Janesville. So the next Saturday, I went to Janesville. I filmed him. Here he is coming. He broke the school record. Since then, this is 2 years ago, he's broken 4 records. He is the 10th fastest runner, high school runner in the United States right now. And I'm still doing a story on him. But it turned out from adoption at 11 years old, and if you don't know adopting a child at 11 that's very old. Usually they want babies or toddlers. So an amazing story of this young man. Very proud of that episode. If you don't know this man, his name is Craig Culver. And in Oregon, we're getting a Culver's. As soon as I get out of my car, my camera's on. I'm filming. You never know what you're going to take. Craig was coming to a meet and greet at one of our local coffee shops, and I captured. Now, I did do an interview with him probably 3 months prior. I went to his corporate offices, and the funny thing is, when I walked in, I walked in like this with nothing on me really, but a little bag. He thought I was a newspaper reporter, and this was all set up through our village president. And I said, well, you ready to do the interview, Craig? And he goes, sure. And I go, well, I'm going to videotape you, and with this. So I set up my thing, and he goes, really? Because he hires an ad. I said to him, your ad agency that you hire, that you have your director, your cinematographer, your audio, your color people that come in and do the gaffers and everything. I'm that person. I'm going to edit this. And so when he came to Oregon, and again planning, and my camera was running, and that movement, he did his hand down our street and said, you got a lot going here. And it was a great, if I hadn't had my camera on, if I waited to set up and do, I wouldn't have caught that. I thought it was a great caption of capturing Craig. And our Culver's will be opening this fall if you want to stop by for a cheeseburger. Girl Power Africa, 8,230 miles away, Oregon to Liberia, West Africa. This young woman, Oregon high school student, She graduates, she starts this foundation. She's in Africa, she's helping young women and children with dolls and shoes and balls, and she has a school there. Another amazing story. So on this particular day, these girls have gathered together. They're packing up all these donations to take, to ship, which takes 4 months to ship from Oregon to Africa. But I was filming with the camera, and I was coming through here, and this young girl sitting on the ground is packing that bag with Barbie dolls. So I said, okay, when you get to Africa, I want you to take your phone, and I want 1 minute, that's all. And I don't want you filming like this, I want you filming like this, okay? And just capture your girls there, getting them. And we did that. And we have them receiving them. I actually have other footage of them taking out of the box. But here they are, 8,230 miles away. Who would have thought? Again, I'm on the ground, I'm doing one show, but I'm looking to do another show. So I still connect with them, and we have stories to come in the future on Oregon Life. So planning, looking ahead. Don't be tunnel vision ever. When you're doing one story, there's always another story. There is. I promise. Song of Taps. I did a story on how taps started, and this gentleman is bugles across America, goes all over the Wisconsin and plays taps upon the death of a Vietnam veteran, any veteran, excuse me. I happened to do a story on Vietnam that day, so I wanted him to play taps at this cemetery and talk about it, so that would be the backdrop here. And then whenever I'm out, wherever I am, I'm filming around what's happening, because you never know when you're going to use it. So I got some footage of the cemetery, archived it, as I've archived nearly every building in our community, nearly every street, like LiDAR technology. You're familiar with that? Google uses it with the car driving by. I have all that. So when I'm doing a story, I can pull all those videos or stills and have them. I am not running out. And a month ago, I did a story on the Oregon Historical Society, and he's referring to cemetery records that has all the people that have passed in physical records. But I used that clip to show the cemetery. So the visual of people listening to him talking and then the cemetery pulling up is, visuals are important. Do you guys remember this? You remember seeing this? I'm watching the game. I am rooting for the 49ers. They did lose. The lights went, the TV, it went dark. And I thought, I went to Twitter, and there they are. Oreo cookies put this up within minutes. And I thought, wow, that really impressed me. Of course, they have a team of people ready to go, but the lights went out to think that quickly, to get a photo. Maybe they had it, maybe they didn't, I don't know, but that was impressive. And that always made me think, be prepared for anything and be ready to shoot and film anything and tell a story. So every Sunday, I archive photos, I write captions, I read poetry to grab captions to tell stories about our community. So in this, about, flying a kite is like holding the wind in your hands. It's just so true. This is so true. So I'm driving down a street, and 2 houses over, I see this kite flying in the air. And I always have my camera with me. It's right here. So I go up to the father and the daughter that are flying this kite, and I say, hey, I'd like to do a thing, and I posted this. And it's here. If you can hear the girl. And I posted that. Amazing how many hits on this little thing we got. We have the girl's voice. The father loved that I said flying a kite was like holding the wind in your hands. And there we go. Getting your community involved in creating user-generated content. So about a year ago, Carol here, the Oregon Observer, which we have a relationship with, did a story, and there were hundreds of Facebook posts of Carol. She gives out food at Quick Trip. She serves the little food. She's 84 years old. She doesn't mind me saying. So I ended up doing a story on her, and I always put a teaser out. But I grabbed this quote that this woman said. Just wanted to tell everyone, go out and visit Carol at the Middle Quick Trip. She's a beautiful soul. You can read the rest if you want to. But this woman contacted me. I didn't put her name, but she saw it. And she said, oh, I love Carol. I'm the one that made the contact. So now I've connected a citizen in our community with our Facebook post. She follows us. Her friends are now following us. And she's sending me stories. But it's all about making connections and with your community and contacting people and letting them know. So whenever I'm out, I'm talking about either Oregon Life, the Oregon Minute, or shows. I did a story on the park the other day. They were doing a scavenger hunt, and this woman had her stroller and the child, and I said, you mind me filming you? I'm OCA Media, Frank Caruso. And she goes, no. And so we started talking. She's new. And I said, hey, contact OCA Media, like our page, and there's so much information on there about the community, more than anywhere else in the community. And she did, and we published that one yesterday, which I don't have here. I'm not going to show you that one. But, she's following us, and her family's following us, because they're in the clip. Whenever I do a story, I build excitement. I give a clip of the excitement or the still of the excitement. I'm going to play you this. Our fifth grade, sixth grade class at Rome Corners Intermediate School was invited to the Capitol to play. There were 10 schools. Oh, I thought you were saying something. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to play you this, and then I'm going to talk about what is important about this. See if it plays. Did you need to talk to me? I can't hear this. This should be playing too. Let's try this. You better watch your ears. Let's see if this will play. It's not playing. Oh, here it is. Can you hear it?
Do you have a headphone jack on this thing?
I use my iPhone and I use my Rode microphone.
See anything that looks like a microphone?
Yeah, it's a head jack.
What's the other one?
That looks like a, yeah.
Give it a try.
Look, let's try it. That sounds like it's working.
Try it now.
Where's my? Why don't you think it's playing?
Does it look like it's playing?
Yeah, it's not playing. Let's go up and go back down to it. Can you hear it?
Oh, it's not coming through.
All right, don't worry about the sound. I mean, I could put the microphone down here. Can you hear it now? That's not. Sound is important, but today it's not. But I want the visual. I want you to see this. I want you to see what's happening. I'm going to pull this out. So I'm on my phone. I've got my DJI, and I'm traversing through this. And I put a teaser out. I mean, parents can't come during a work day. They loved that usually if you film concerts, you're static and you're in the back and there's one shot. I've never done that. I've gotten except in school, they wouldn't allow me to get on stage and go through. But I go through and so they did about 6 songs, about 3 minutes apiece, and each one of them I went through. I was going underneath things and through the aisles and the kids' faces, and so every day, Monday through Friday, Saturday, I aired those 3-minute videos. Parents loved, and grandparents loved. People from all over the country were watching. They'd never seen anything like that. It's usually a static, straight shot. So things like this, doing something different, maybe thinking outside. But I put the teaser out, and then every day the teacher got it early in the morning because I put it at 7 a.m. played it to her class, and it just grows your trust and love in the community and followers. Though I said this earlier today, and I've said this to people, our board numbers are important, and I know they're important, but it's not the number of followers, it's the quality of your followers, meaning are they engaging with you? It is always the quality. I do a thing called the good in our community, and I post whenever I see it. It could be every day, it could be twice a week. Now I was at a memory care center doing a historical interview of a person that has driven bus for 32 years, now retired. When I was leaving, I saw the firemen in the building checking the smoke alarms. So I took the photo. I knew they're trying to keep people safe and doing this. You know, I've gone out when I see public works plowing the streets. I get out in the street and get down with my phone and I'm filming them doing that, or if someone's helping someone with their garbage, whatever it is, and I say the good in our community, post this. Again, it's these little things. People love this and love this, the good in our community.
And are those just photos or videos or both?
That's a photo. If I have a video, yeah, I intermix whatever, but you know, I wasn't going to film them there. And this is Carol. God, this ended quickly. I do a happening now. I wonder if I missed that clip. I don't know, but Carol, we're not going to hear it, but she's saying thank you all for listening to me today. I hope you've gotten something out of this. All I would say is reach outside, do things that are valuable to others, help people, always, you know, from the heart. Tell those stories. Those are the things that mean a lot to the people in our community, and I'm sure throughout this land. So I wish I had more to give you, but I'm broke. I work for public access TV. Do you have any questions? Yeah. Yeah. I have a DJI. I put my phone on it, and I travel through with it. Yep, I do that. I have used my my phone, and I've done, you know, pan shots and do. I've been doing that. Yeah, I do it. I've done it. If I don't have that, I'll do that. The setup is neat though, with the audio. So. Yes. It is important. I like telling the stories. Now, I just did the story of Lois, the bus driver. So she takes us back in time. And that time is disappearing. We're not going to hear those stories. So she talks about not having electricity, not having running water, lighting candles on the Christmas tree. Those are fascinating stories that engage us and let us know of a time. And here she is, here living, and she loves technology. She's on YouTube and Facebook. Imagine coming from no electricity to this marvelous technology. And I say to people, you know, people, Facebook, sometimes they'll say, oh, it's dark and lonely out there. I say, use the technology to enhance your life and the people you care about. That's what it's here for. Yes. I'm always behind the camera. I'm never in front of the camera like this. This is not where I should be. People have asked me to interject myself within my Oregon Life show, and what I do is I do the show and I sit down for a 30-second, and I reflect on the show and talk about that, and I film myself doing that intro, and people have liked that. They know me around town, so they want to see my face and reaction to things. So I've added that to Oregon Life. It wasn't there before. And that's every Sunday. I produce that show every Sunday, which runs from, this week's show is 8 minutes and 43 seconds. And then, I've got a big one coming up. It won't play here, I'm sure, but I did the iconic terrace chairs at the Union. I'm doing a story on how those are made. Fascinating. how those are, how they're painted and done, and it's done right in Oregon, Wisconsin. So, are we running? Yeah. Do you want me to play that?
That would be really fun. And while you're setting that up, what do you do about getting people's permission and getting pictures of children?
I'll tell you that in a moment. I'll play this because we want to get our guy up here. You're next. Am I out of time? I'll play it for you. I'll play it for you later. Come on up and get your time here.
That's all right. I know we've got, my name's John, everyone.
John,
Sure.
I'm going to unplug this. And here.
Sure.
Do you need that?
No, it should be all right, but thank you.
Okay.
So my name's John Ehlke. I'm with the City of West Bend. I was going to show you some videos and stuff like that and kind of explain to you a little bit about our social media and how it's kind of taken off the last few years. Last year at the conference, we had just surpassed 20,000 followers for the city, which at the time was probably the highest for any municipality in the state. Right now we're at 22,000 followers, and that's just a few months later. So we're continually growing with what we're doing. I will kind of echo some of the things that have been said before you guys have to disperse, but I just wanted to say thank you very much for your time. One thing that I always recommend is to put your watermark on everything that you do, especially on social media. You have no idea how quickly that stuff will get stolen and used elsewhere without, I don't want to say you getting credit, but you getting the recognition that you deserve for the hard work that you put in there. So please always make sure to put your watermark on stuff. And I'll just share a very quick story about how that benefited me a while back. I don't know if you guys know this guy Janice at all. But I took a photo. I was covering a basketball game of his brother, and I took a photo of his brother with him in the background and his mother. It was a really nice celebration shot during the high school game and everything like that. I put it on my social media as like, hey, game was great. Here's a nice photo. Didn't tag anybody in the photo, but his brother found it, screenshotted the photo, and then shared it on his social media. But because I put our watermark on the photo, 60 Minutes then contacted me asking to use our images for a story that they were using on the family later on, and they only found that out because our watermark was on that image that they saw on his social media account. So as a lesson, for the love of goodness sake, always put your watermark on everything that you do, because 60 Minutes might contact you and want to use your stuff. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you throughout the concert. Have a good one.
Please don't forget to fill out the forms that we have over here on the side.
Just checking the audio here. For some reason the audio wasn't working for people, and I plugged it in there and it made noise.
Okay.
For our camera operator, unfortunately.